For more by Florida Congresswoman Maria Salazar, who serves on the House Foreign Affairs Committee. Congresswoman, it's great to have you on this evening. I want to just ask you who you think should be in power in the near-term future in Venezuela. Maria Machado won the election in Venezuela July 2024. She also won the Nobel Peace Prize this year, a prize that many people say should have gone to Donald Trump. Do you think that could be part of the reason why President Trump doesn't want her in charge in Venezuela right now?
Oh, no, I don't think that the president thinks that way. I think that the Venezuelans, starting with Maria Corina, owes him and are highly grateful for what he did. He was very, very brave in doing something that I have said that no other president, Democrat or Republican, had the political pants to take this action and to free the hemisphere from this thug. This is an America First agenda, and if you want me, I can go into that. But the question that you're asking me is that the United States is right now in charge. Thank God for that. Not the Russians or the Cubans or the Chinese. And what we're going to do is what we did in Panama and what we did in Grenada and what we did in Cuba in 1902. There's a history that indicates what the United States can do. And I'm sure that we're not a taker, we're a giver. We're going to give that country back to the Venezuelans much better than we found them. But that takes time, like Marco Rubio said. We need few weeks to figure out how are we going to reestablish what the president said, prosperity, stability, and the rule of law.
Yeah.
I have no doubt that Maria Corina could be the next president, but that needs to be established by the Venezuelans.
Okay, so Delcy Rodriguez, I believe that's the current Venezuelan vice president. She is now president, at least on an interim basis there in Venezuela. There is all sorts of wild rumor and innuendo today that she could be some sort of U.S. asset embedded in the Maduro regime, which is why the president may have been so happy to let her sort of take over on an interim basis. You're a member of Congress. You're on the Foreign Affairs Committee. What can you tell us? Because here was his comment about the woman who won the Nobel Peace Prize. I think it'd be very tough for her to be leader. She doesn't have the support within or the respect within the country. She's a very nice woman, but she doesn't have the respect. Congresswoman, all due respect, she won the election in July of 2024. So clearly the people of Venezuela like this woman.
Correct, and I agree with you, but I do understand exactly what the president is saying, is that the opposition leaders are out of Venezuela. We need to give them that platform, that scenario where they can come back in, create the political parties, and run an election that will be held by international observers, maybe sponsored by the United States. When Maria Corina Machado won, was an election that Maduro did not allow her to be the presidential nominee because he just didn't like her because he knew that she was going to win.
Right.
Remember, I mean, I'm the chairman of the Western Hemisphere subcommittee within the House Foreign Affairs Committee. This is my topic, and I can tell you and your audience that the best thing that could have happened to the Americans, to the Venezuelans, is what Trump did a few days ago. It's an America First agenda. Why? Because of national security, because now Venezuela is the Spanish Saudi Arabia. They're going to pay for their own way. We're not going to have any charity with them. What we're going to do is we're going to give them know-how. We're going to help them restructure PDVSA, who is the oil company, bring back everything they need that the Chavistas destroyed. And Delcy is one. Probably people do not know who this lady is. Her father in 1970 kidnapped and killed an American businessman just for being American.
This is the vice president.
So we know, Marco Rubio knows. Say that, yeah, that's right.
Sorry, I'm just for everyone at home. I know, no one knew who any of these people were until Saturday morning, I think, and they're still trying to piece it together. I wanted to ask you this. I know that you were a journalist in your previous profession, and I understand. Did you interview Nicolas Maduro? You did.
Right there, yeah. I was telling your producer that I'm just giving you that picture. Yeah, that was in 2019.
What did you make of it?
I've been on television for 35 years. Now I'm even happier because I'm serving the constituents of District Number 27 in Miami, Florida.
Right.
But yeah, that's him. I mean, I met him. I know the country. The country was one of the most prosperous and most pro-American countries in the Western Hemisphere. Not only that, very much right now, very grateful to the president.
Yeah.
And that it has nothing to do with what my colleagues on the other side are saying. Oh my God, Middle East. This has nothing to do with the Middle East. You're comparing oranges to apples.
No, this is not, it's not a regime change. This guy's not the leader of a regime. He's not the president. He lost the election, okay? This was an arrest of somebody who was indicted. Joe Biden had a $25 million bounty on his head, okay? Suddenly, Democrats aren't for it. Congresswoman, hope to have you back as we piece this all together. We appreciate it. Maria Salazar, thank you.
Anytime. Thank you for the opportunity.
Appreciate it. I want to welcome in